She stands beneath the golden glow of a Rio de Janeiro afternoon. Silk cascades softly over her frame, ivory and delicate, embroidered with threads that shimmer like quiet sunlight on water. A gentle breeze lifts the lace at her sleeves, brushing against her skin as though history itself dares not disturb her. Her gaze is calm, but not passive. There is something deeper there, resolve hidden beneath grace, the kind of strength that does not shout, but transforms nations. In her hand rests a pen, not a sword, not a crown. And yet, with a single stroke of ink, she will change the destiny of millions. Isabel, Cristina, Leopoldina, Augusta, Micaela, Gabriela, Rafaela, Gonzaga de Bragança y Bourbon, known to history as Princess Isabel, was born on July 29, 1846, in Rio de Janeiro, then capital of the Empire of Brazil. She was the daughter of Emperor Dom Pedro II, ruler of a vast and complex nation, and heir to a throne few believed she would ever truly claim. Brazil during the 19th century was the last major Western nation to maintain slavery as a legal institution. Its economy depended heavily on enslaved labor, particularly in the coffee plantations that fueled imperial wealth. As a woman in a deeply patriarchal society, Isabel's political power was often underestimated. Yet fate and circumstance would place her at the center of one of the most transformative decisions in Brazilian history. If stories like this, where elegance meets quiet revolution, resonate with you, consider subscribing. Because here, we don't just revisit history, we feel it. From a young age, Isabel was not raised to rule with certainty, but she was raised to be ready. Her father, Dom Pedro II, believed in education above all else. He ensured that Isabel received rigorous instruction in languages, philosophy, politics, and science, an uncommon privilege for women of her time. But knowledge alone does not shape destiny. In 1864, Isabel married Prince Gaston, Count of Eu, a French nobleman.
Prince Gaston,
their union was strategic, reinforcing ties between Brazil and European aristocracy. Yet despite the formality of their marriage, their relationship grew into one of mutual respect and partnership. Still, whispers lingered in the imperial court. Could a woman truly govern Brazil? Those doubts would be tested. Throughout her life, Isabel served as regent on 3 separate occasions when her father traveled abroad. Each time, she stepped into power not with arrogance, but with a quiet sense of duty. And during these periods, one issue loomed above all others: slavery. By the late 19th century, abolitionist movements had gained strength. Intellectuals, activists, and even members of the elite began to question the moral and economic sustainability of slavery. Isabel listened. Unlike many landowners and political elites, she was deeply influenced by Catholic humanitarian ideals. She saw slavery not as an economic necessity, but as a moral stain. Her first major step came in 1871 with the law of the free womb, which declared that children born to enslaved mothers would be free.
Your Highness, the reports are clear. We must act now. But the risks, Princess, we need more time to consider.
Years passed. Pressure grew.
Time is a luxury we don't have.
By the 1880s, Brazil stood at a crossroads. The elite feared economic collapse. The military grew restless. And abolitionists demanded immediate action. And once again, Isabel found herself holding the pen, May 13th, 1888. The room is filled with tension thick enough to feel in the air, like the heavy stillness before a storm breaks. Light filters through tall windows, illuminating the parchment laid before her. The ink waits. The moment trembles. She sits poised, dressed in regal simplicity, her expression serene, yet her heart racing with the weight of centuries. Outside, a nation holds its breath, and then she moves. The pen glides across the paper with quiet finality. No chain shatter in sound. Yet across Brazil, an invisible thunder echoes. The golden law, Lei Áurea, is signed. In that instant, more than 700,000 enslaved people are freed. No compensation to slave owners, no gradual transition, just freedom. Absolute, immediate. And in that silence, after the ink dries, history changes forever. But liberation came at a cost. The powerful plantation owners, the backbone of the empire's economy, felt betrayed. To them, Isabel had not just freed the enslaved, she had dismantled their wealth and influence overnight. Support for the monarchy began to erode. Just 1 year later, in 1889, a military coup would overthrow the Brazilian Empire. The monarchy fell, and Isabel, once heir to a throne, was forced into exile alongside her family. In exile, far from the land she helped transform, Isabel lived the remainder of her life in Europe. She never ruled as empress. She never returned to power. But history does not measure greatness solely by crowns worn. Sometimes it is measured by courage in a single moment, by the grace to act when others hesitate, by the quiet strength to choose justice, even when it costs everything. In the soft glow of that May afternoon, Isabel did more than sign a law. She etched her name into the moral fabric of a nation, a woman of elegance, a princess without a throne, a liberator remembered in ink and in freedom. If this story moved you, if you felt the weight of that pen, the silence of that room, the power of that moment, then don't let it end here. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, because every interaction helps bring more stories like this to light. History is filled with beauty, strength, and untold emotion. And you're now part of the few who choose to see it. Stay with us. There's so much more to uncover.